Hey everyone, welcome to the Industry Show. I'm your host, Nitin Bajaj, and joining me today is Iris Pena. Iris, welcome on the show.
Hi, Nitin. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure is all ours. So let's start with who is Iris?
Who is Iris? Wow. I'll start with my name because I think that's it's always been an interesting thing. My mom always loved the name Iris. In Spanish, she always referred to it as arco iris. Iris being iris, arco being an arc, which is a rainbow in Spanish, basically. And for the meaning of it is means brings color and life to everything. And so I like to think that I tend to embody that with all the different elements of my life and all the things that I do. Different elements, you know, I am a mom of three. I am an energy healer, shaman, lightworking entrepreneur. So a lot of different things that I've kind of, life has kind of built me up and created different aspects of myself that I, bring together, and it's a variety of things. So if that helps answer your question.
You do wear a lot of hats, a lot of interesting hats for sure. And, you've also had a corporate career, and now you're helping people kind of live through and explore their own selves. So would love to hear more. But before we do that, let's play a little game. We call it the underrated, overrated. And let's talk about some of these themes that are impacting us as a community. So when you're ready, we'll get started.
Sure.
All right, let's do this. Let's start with stock market prices.
I feel like overrated.
Okay. What about startup valuations?
Underrated.
Okay. The metaverse?
Underrated.
Okay. What about cash?
Definitely underrated.
The Great Resignation?
Underrated as well.
Okay. And stakeholder capitalism?
Overrated.
Crypto?
Underrated. I think there's something there.
Real estate prices?
Oh, underrated. How they've gone up, it's been crazy.
Inflation?
Definitely underrated.
And NFT?
Underrated as well.
Awesome. That was fun. Thanks for playing along.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about mother medicine. Tell us what it is, what's the vision, and why do you do this?
Yeah. So mother medicine, again, we'll start with the name and a couple different levels with that. Mother medicine being connection with Mother Earth, the medicines that Mother Earth has to provide us very natural ways of life. And also the aspect of mother medicine as the medicine that a mother gives. All right, told you at the beginning, I'm a mother of three and have done a lot of things for my children, for my life, to be able to get to where I'm at. And I'll say that my children have been my greatest teachers throughout my life. And it is very much because of the journey that I have gone through throughout my life that has really created and brought mother medicine to what it is today. Fun fact, I lived in a haunted house for 10 years. And that was a very interesting thing. Most people would think that would be, well, what do you do with that? Well, you learn a lot. I studied a lot of things. I went through a lot of things in order to bring peace to my home life, and not only for myself, but for my children. Actually have one of my daughters for a whole year was dealing with night terrors, and doctors couldn't figure it out. Nobody really knew what it was. Finally looked into other avenues. Yep, the house is haunted. Let's figure this out. Let's clear these things out. And is actually brought into practice one of the services that I bring as well, which is space clearing. Living in a haunted house for 10 years, definitely opens you up to a whole variety of different techniques and skills that never planned on learning, but I have.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So there's that aspect of it, was one of those things I grew up and learned. Um, got into energy healing young in probably in my 20s and stuff. And again, just wanted to provide my children with another natural way of healing, something that Western medicine wasn't able to provide for them.
Mhm.
And so I started off learning Reiki, energy modality, the idea of channeling energy through the body and then be able to receive that towards others. And did that for many years, got my Reiki master's, actually then transitioned into Reiki Tech. I'm a level 3 Reiki Tech practitioner.
Wow.
Reiki energy being derived from Japanese origins.
Mhm.
Reiki Tech is more derived of Egyptian origins, uses cosmic and earth energies with that. And being able to do energy healings, which I now provide energy therapy services for my clients, where I, they end up usually having some beautiful, profound experiences. And just with each session is always a beautiful journey and adventure, and to be able to communicate and help people to process different emotions and different attributes of their lives that they have not been able to connect with before. I'm able to help bring those to the surface, relieve those many times, and help them to kind of reset, recharge them, and get them going up and going again. So that's with that. And throughout all of this, as I've continued my journey, keeping the balance of life, right? Even though I had some great success doing life coaching and energy healing, doing space clearings for people, has been beautiful, but I wanted to also bring a new practice, more grounding practice into my business as well, which I now also provide health and life coaching,
Mhm.
and really bringing and integrating the mind, body, and spirit all into one. Um, I feel like so much that we've done throughout the days, we get so busy in our lives, right? And um, society is like, let's go, go, go. We're machines, let's keep moving. But even a machine needs fuel, right? And I don't know about you, but how many times have you gone through a busy day, missed, multiple meals, if you ate it all that day, and then you're, rushing off to the next thing. You get tired, you get burnt out, the body wears down over time, right? And I've noticed, this past pattern also within, my children, within lifestyle, within myself and people around me, of how can we balance this? How can we stay consistent with our own body, mind, and spirit, and give ourselves the fuel, not only in food, but emotionally and spiritually, to be able to be at our wholeness and make those steps forward to do the great things that we want to do. So um, Mother Medicine combines a lot of different aspects, right? And more than anything, it's really about just wanting to bring people to understand and make the changes in their lives that they need to, in order to be the highest and best version of themselves that they can dream up. And that's what I want to help people to be able to transition and work towards.
That's wonderful. And what I love about what you're doing is, seems like you're taking the best traditions, the best practices from around the world. You have the Japanese practices, you are a shaman helping people, kind of bringing the best from Brazil. And so I love that aspect of, you're not restricting this to a particular set of solutions. Whatever works for whoever, you are able to bring that to them. Now, doing this is not easy, right? You have to go through a lot with the person to help them find that best version of themselves. Why do this?
Why do this? Geez, because I feel that it's so much, we're so lacking in so many things that we need within ourselves. And I'll tell you that I've been doing this work for a little over 15 years now on the side. And it wasn't until the pandemic hit that I decided to go full forward and do this more full time and jump into all of this. So it was the summer after the pandemic hit, was offered an opportunity to come and start showcasing my work. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is where I need to be. Like the world isn't just sick in the body from a virus. We're sick in so much more, in the mind, in the spirit. And it's this illness on all these different levels that just weighs down on us. It eats away at us. And it's so disheartening to see people so disconnected from who they are and what they really want to be, and to think that there aren't any options available. So for all that, it's just one of those things where I'm like, there's so much more to this world than just what we see in front of us. So much more. And I want to be able to provide that for other people, to be able to remind them who they are and why they're here and what they want to do, to really reignite that spark within them. Because it's something that I've done for myself, I do for my children, I do for my friends and my family, and I just want to be able to expand that out to so many more people. And I love doing the work that I do. Just when I do see that and see that brightness in a person's face and that relief, I'm like, it definitely makes it all worth it.
So true. As we are running the race that we are all running, it's really important to pause, not just to, recharge, which is, like you said, very important, but also to reflect, right? Where are we headed? Why are we doing what we are doing? And to be able to introspect and really think through, right? And have that pause is so important, because you could keep running. And if you're not going in the direction you want to, what's even the point?
Agreed. And this is, like I said, something that I started many years ago. And when the opportunity came up, I kind of jumped on it and continued moving with it, because it's why do we do the things we do? What's going to motivate us? What is that burning and desire that we have from the pit of our stomach that we want to bring up and live life fully?
True.
I tell people that, 2020 was a year of survival, and 2021 we were healing. 2022, it's like, let's thrive. Let's move forward.
So true. I fully agree with that. Now, as you're going about helping people, people have to realize they need this, right? And they should be willing to do what it takes, because even for a person that wants to go through this journey, it's not easy. Now, as you approach this as a business, what is the biggest challenge you're facing?
I would say the biggest challenge is helping people to realize that self-care isn't a luxury. It's not just a, fluffy thing that you do whatever, right? Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, there's, if you're not able to take care of even just your body, or, take care of your body and make sure that it's strong enough and fueled to do the work that you need to do. Are you taking care of your mental health? Too much anxiety, depression, overwhelm, whatever it might be, that makes it really hard to think and focus, and even on a spiritual connection, that is greater than you, having hope, having a drive to move forward. What is that for a person? And so I think a lot of people lose touch with that, and understanding what that is. And that's one of the big things that I'm here to remind people about.
True. And I think culture plays a role, right? In certain cultures, especially men, it's not okay to accept that we
Mhm.
need to pause, we need to do some self-care, we need to make sure we are not just physically but also mentally strong, that it's okay to not run that rat race and focus on us. And yeah, so I can imagine those list of challenges that are not easy to tackle. On the flip side of the challenges are the opportunities. So what's that one big exciting opportunity that you're targeting or focusing on?
I would definitely say that would be a new program that I have out. I was telling you is my total transformation program,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 90-day program of really about habit change, lifestyle change, um, getting connected with who you are and what you want to be. And that doesn't, I learned that doesn't happen overnight. It's not just, one healing session. People, like, hey, you are healed. I'm not doing that, like
I would love if you did.
I'm like, I'd love it too, and don't get me wrong, I've had some great successes with, helping people to heal through different things. But the long-term focus and long-term goal is for a person to become their own self-healer, to
True.
be able to identify these things and uncover and discover for themselves
Mm-hmm.
what it is that might be stopping them, holding them back, or blocking them from making the moves forward that they want. And been doing this 90-day program with um, multiple clients, and really enjoyed watching their progress over and over every week. And seeing the new things that they're coming up with, and ideas they're coming up with, the inspirations, even in the smallest bits,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's those small little pieces that happen that are actually going to make those big moving blocks in the end. So having somebody that, having the right system, the right accountability, and the right support for a person is huge. And changing habits, changing one habit is good within 30 days, but being able to keep it consistent, we're looking at 60, 90 days to really integrate that into your life and create that into a whole new way of being. And so I'm really excited about doing this total transformation program for people and being able to offer that because I've seen so much progress. I've gone through the program even myself several times and seen such growth for myself, and I love sharing that with others. So.
Congrats again on the launch. And then, we'll make sure to post for people to get to and to join the program. We'll include that in the details when we release this.
Cool.
Let's look back in the rearview mirror and talk about a time when things did not work out as you had planned and it became more of a lesson uh, or even just a failure, right? And you may have taken something away from it.
I would say I think that just kind of goes hand in hand sometimes with being an entrepreneur and doing the startup, and going with all of that at times too, where, business is slow, things are, a little bit light on the front, and it's, how are you going to do that? How are you
Mhm.
going to still pay the bills and still do the passion and the love and the things that you want to do, right? And for me, it's been a great growth experience, reminding myself again what I'm capable of, having the courage to try new aspects, do new ventures, trying things differently,
Mhm.
because we all make plans. We're working toward those plans and trying to stay consistent with them. When one doesn't work, you change gears, you got to pivot, make room for the next one, and keep going until you find out what works right. And it's
Mhm.
been a journey of self-discovery. What am I really willing to do? What am I not?
Mhm.
And because at the end of the day, creating this business, this venture, um, for myself, to be able to give myself that flexibility,
Mhm.
and be able to, move forward and grow from all of it. So.
So true. Now, this was things that may not have worked out. what's a success story that you're really proud of? And I would love for you to brag a little bit.
Success stories. I will say I love hearing, getting feedback from my clients when I do that. And I'll see they will end up posting online or whatever and giving their testimonials about things, and how much I appreciate that, and seeing how, they've been able to move forward, got over a block, been able to reset, give them the energy they want. And those have been beautiful, empowering pieces.
Mhm.
And then on top of it, I would say, I feel like I have a few different stories. I'll say that currently where I run some of my energy practice out of is through Inner Q Wellness Center, which is also a chiropractic and acupuncture place. And so that part of my business of doing the energy therapy there, every time I go in there, I go and clear the space. It's just kind of a ritual and a routine that I do anyways. And so in this last year of being there, I didn't realize, but the owner, the doctor of establishment, had been kind of tracking how things were in the office after I cleared every time. And I didn't realize that. It's probably almost a year later, and she comes back and tells me this. And she's like, "We have an increase in sales every single time that you clear the space." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yes." She and ends up telling me, after one event that she had done a clearing within an hour, they had $1,000 increase in sales, which
Wow.
was unheard of for their practice. And in the following weeks after that, they had another $6,000 in back paying bills and new business that came in as well. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I love that you've been watching this and, monitoring this, on top of, the increased morale, transition with, employees, and creating a better team for herself and a beautiful environment for them to work in that they really love and enjoyed. So I was very honored for the testimonial, and that she had, shared that with me as well, and that she'd been, tracking that. I was like, oh, interesting. That is wonderful, because it's just something that I naturally do. I clear the space. It's just part of that practice. And she noticed every time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in and clear today. All right, great. And she was watching how everything was just reset, rechange, and less cancellations and patients, and more fluid new patients coming in as well too. So I'm honored to be a part of that, but really honored for her speeches with that as well. So really love that. And I'll share one last story with you, because it was just something that happened recently. And in my total transformation program, where I've been seeing the growth and development of many of my clients, and one in particular, how she's, we're going on about appreciations and how to be able to appreciate yourself and appreciate others. And she ends up sharing about, how much she appreciated her husband, and going through, that process. And her husband happened to be there as well, and started saying how much he appreciated her, and then back to forth to me, and I appreciate you for doing this work that you've been doing, because we're all, working together. Not only is she become, less stressed, have more energy, being able to, accomplish more things for herself, but had also released a lot of stress within their relationship as well too. And I thought that was beautiful, that here I was, focusing only one person, but it not only expanded to, her husband, but also to her children and her life, and all these good things that are happening because she was taking such good care of herself, and expanding from there. So a lot of great things that have come up, and re-energize me every time to do the work that I do, because it's constantly rewarding, and love seeing how people are growing and benefiting from the energy work or the coaching work that I do for people. So
That's really amazing. One, to have that validation that things are working, and to be able to spread that positivity and then get that reward back in return that keeps motivating you to go back and do more of this. So that's amazing to hear. Now,
thank you. Yes.
let's get to my favorite part of the show, which is the one line life lessons. These are lessons, not quotes. They're simple but profound. And I have personally found them to be often life changing. Would love to hear your one line life lessons.
Online life lessons. I'd say, excuse me. One, I get the compliments very much. It's like, oh, you're so strong, and that's so great. And I would tell, and with that all in mind, I tell people, being strong doesn't make life easier. It just means you can heal faster.
Love that.
And I look back in my life, and it's like, yes, I've been strong through a lot of different challenges, made my way through a lot of different things. And yes, because I've been able to heal at a faster rate and being able to transform and move and work through things. So yeah, most definitely. Two, self-care is not an indulgence, it's a discipline. And it is very much a discipline. Even as much as I tell my clients, I tell people, like, make sure you're taking care of your self-care, whatever your rituals are, whether it's, meditating daily, having that movement, if you're going on runs, walks, whatever, making sure you're nourishing yourself. And even there are days too, where I'm like, oh, that all went out the window, but tomorrow I'm going to jump back on track, because this is, my way of life. And this is what I'm preaching and working towards people. So it is definitely a discipline that needs to be carried on through. Another one would be, you can't do it all yourself, but you can do, let me reset that one, sorry. You can do it all, but you can't do it alone. And this one comes very much from the idea of, like, even as being an entrepreneur and being independent, most definitely I want to be able to do it all by myself, but that's not possible. We need community, we need people, we need support systems in place to be able to do the things that we want to do and grow from all of that. So, and where am I at? The fourth one, you don't have time for everything, but you have time for the most important things.
Yes.
Right? We get so busy with everything. And I don't know about you, but I have a mile-long task list of all these things that I want to do. And it's like, okay, how am I going to prioritize this? What's most important right now? What do I need to get taken care of? So taking those things one step at a time. And my favorite is what seems impossible today will one day be your warm-up.
I love that.
I love that one as well too, because even when I look back in my life and the things where I may have struggled getting started on a few different things, and now it just becomes, a daily ritual. It's one thing at a glance. Like I said, I go in and I clear spaces where there is at one point in time that I lived in a haunted house, and that was scary, right? And now it's like, no big deal. We can take care of this. So always taking everything one step at a time, figuring things out, and making steps to move forward.
Love that. Iris, thank you once again for sharing your life lessons with us, and also making the time to being with us today. Really appreciate it. And we look forward to having this conversation again and sending more people along to you so you can heal them and help them find the best version of themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.